Hi, what's going on, everyone? I had the great opportunity to interview Julie Wong, who's an insurance broker in the Southern California area. And I asked you some questions regarding home insurance, common misconceptions, ways to save money on your home insurance that I actually didn't even know about, and just those details that maybe you've had questions about and you haven't really had a chance to ask an insurance broker yourself. So hopefully you enjoy this video and let me know if you have any questions. And of course, I'll include Julie's contact at the end of the video. Okay, hi everyone, Mina here. I just wanted to take some time today to introduce Julie Wong, who is an insurance broker that has helped multiple clients of mine in the past just understand their home insurance better and just kind of explore their options in general, I guess. And yeah, Julie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of people have many questions regarding home insurance, but they don't really realize how many questions they have until much later in the home buying process.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they actually don't figure out what is wrong with their policy until something happens, and the insurance company is like, "Sorry, you don't have coverage for this." So I always like to educate my clients ahead of time, and kind of just from my experience, let them know what I've experienced with other clients and claims and stuff, and kind of package their home loan based on what they need and what kind of coverages I feel like they need.
Gotcha. And I guess just for a quick background, yeah, tell us a little bit more about the company you work for, your experience in insurance and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I work for Emperor Penguin Insurance. They're based up north, but I work in Southern California. I do home, auto. I also do a lot of business insurance, workers' comp, and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know. I like the logo of your penguin, by the way. I noticed it in your email signature.
Yeah.
But anyway, so just kind of getting into the questions, what are common misconceptions you notice whenever you talk to a new homeowner buying a home regarding their home insurance?
So I think the number one thing is people are always shopping for insurance based on price, which it should not be, because sometimes, the less coverage you have, of course, insurance will be cheaper, but you want to make sure you have sufficient enough coverage. You got to think of it this way. If my house burnt down, do I have enough coverage to rebuild it from the ground up? So that's how, that's kind of like how I let them know, okay, if your house burnt down, do you think you'll have enough coverage to build it up? And the cost of rebuilding houses it goes up every year, and that's why home insurance goes up every year. Also, another thing is like their personal property. If everything burned to the ground, you got to kind of figure out how much value do you have, how much does everything cost in your house? So yeah, so that's one of the biggest things that I discuss with my clients.
Yeah, I feel like with any insurance, you feel like you don't need it until you really need it. And then at that point, for $10 more every single month could have saved you thousands, right?
Exactly. And yeah, I always say that. I always say, you don't think you need insurance until you actually do. And you're, yeah.
Yeah, because I've experienced that with car insurance, those kind of things. It's very easy to be so like driven by the monthly payment, but at the end of the day, man, like the expenses can add up if you aren't correctly insured.
Yes.
So what are, I guess, ways where you're still having the right coverage, where you're pretty much covered in terms of, I guess, depending on what that property is, but what are ways to decrease your annual premium if someone is trying to save as much money as possible?
The biggest thing is increasing your deductible. So going from even like $1,000 deductible to $2,500, it can save you a few $100s a year. So it makes like a huge difference. And if you think about it, your home insurance, I mean, you might have issues, you might not, but you're not going to have issues every year. So I think just really increasing your deductible to $2,500, and just saving that couple hundred a month, a year, will benefit them financially. Another thing is having an alarm system. Usually insurance company will want an alarm system that's monitored by another company. But with all the rings and stuff that's getting popular, a lot of insurance carriers are really accepting that as a form of, a theft system. Another one is a lot of the new homes, they have like fire sprinklers. That's another way you can deduct cost. When if you have a pool, having a fence, but not just a fence, but a fence that locks. So it's not easily, your backyard is not easily accessible. Like that's another way to decrease cost.
Okay, so with the Ring doorbell, because yeah, I feel like it's so popular nowadays, but just by buying a Ring doorbell and installing it, would you have to let the I guess, of course, they're not going to be checking up on you all the time, but so you would basically let the home insurance company, whoever you have your insurance premium with, know that you have now a Ring doorbell?
Yeah, so they'll want to see some kind of proof. So like a picture, or sometimes Ring will send you like a little certificate saying that you have, especially if you have like the whole Ring system. Yeah, so they'll want to see some kind of proof, but just like a picture or like a certificate, all that stuff should be sufficient.
Got it. Okay. No, I actually, didn't know that. And with the Ring doorbell and that kind of thing, so how quickly would the premium get updated to the new amount? Will they just update it fairly quickly?
Yeah, that probably takes like a day.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. So I can just endorse it. I can just go online and, let them know, and then they'll give you like a month to send proof. And also bundling your home and auto actually saves about 20 to 25% on both your home and your auto insurance. So it's always good to bundle your home insurance with auto.
Okay, perfect. And then lastly, I guess just for a general definition of home insurance, like what does a typical home insurance policy cover?
So home insurance policy, it covers, obviously to build your house ground up if, there's a fire. It covers water, like if you had a water leak with piping and stuff like that. It'll cover mold there's always like limits to that. It'll cover mold. What it won't cover is what happens with older homes is the sewage system gets backed up. So what happens is you will have, it's called backup sewer and drainage. You will have some backup. Yeah, so I always, especially with my clients with the older homes, I always ask them it's an optional coverage to purchase that coverage, because more often than not, it does happen a lot.
Interesting. And then with earthquake insurance and things like that, would that come with the typical home insurance policy?
Yeah, so flood's not covered, earthquake is not covered. Jewelry is only covered up to about $1,500. Okay. So if you have like very expensive jewelry and stuff, I would put it in a schedule and specifically cover that, because they put caps on all of those.
Got it. And so that would be just additional coverage you're purchasing through the same home insurance company typically?
Yes. So even if, not even theft, if you covered your engagement ring and you were eating at a restaurant and you lost it, that would be covered. So
really? Even if it's all through the home insurance technically?
Yes, all through the home insurance. So you don't necessarily have to have someone come into your house and steal the ring. You can be wearing it out and lose it, and you can still file a claim with your home, only if you have it scheduled and covered.
Would you say it's typically pretty expensive to get that kind of coverage for a specific item?
So I just recently did a client of mine. Her ring was about $19,000, and it
my gosh, that's so expensive.
I know. It only increased her coverage by $75 a year.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
$20,000 ring.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The insurance company will ask to get it appraised, and they'll want to see that. But I think it's worth it, especially if you're like, a lot of rings, the diamond just falls out, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, especially at 20. Man, I would want like maybe I'll put that to a car and I'll just have a ring pop on my finger for Man, that's crazy. So, Okay, I think that's something a lot of people don't know, because even for myself, actually, I had no idea that home insurance can technically cover as long as you include it, even if you don't get it stolen in the home. I felt like there was always some kind of catch where it
No,
had to
yeah.
happen in the home or whatever it might be.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, and I don't think a lot of people understand that their insurance will put a $1,500 cap on jewelry. So it's always, good to just get that increased if you do have a lot of jewelry in your home.
Got it. And so I guess I know I mentioned that was the last question, but another question that just came to mind for any homeowner that may be shopping or talking with a few different companies for home insurance currently, what do you recommend to look for, or I guess details of a policy you should keep an eye on, or even the representative they're talking to? Do you have a recommendation as someone in the industry who knows home insurance very well?
Yeah. I would recommend always working with a broker, just because, they work with so many insurance carriers. They will know which carrier is best for certain locations, because different insurance carriers has their standard policy, and it has certain coverages that's already included in the standard policy. So you can't even take anything out or put anything in. And yeah, so they actually do all the shopping for you. So I think working with a broker is always good. I think just making sure that you have enough coverage to rebuild the house in the case if there was a fire. I think
And
that's,
fires in California have been like an annual thing lately. It's scary.
yeah. And then I think just not just going with your standard policy, but kind of understanding, understanding what kind of coverages, you need. Like if you have a huge coin collection or gun collection, you really want to make sure that you have those scheduled in your homeowner's insurance. Don't just go with a standard policy. Understand what the policy covers, and just like really just line by line.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's so important too. I mean, relationship wise too, a lot of people just sign off on a policy looking at that bottom line number, but they don't actually know the details of what
Yeah.
exactly they're signing. And
Yeah.
so it's helpful to know, even if they don't maybe, obtain the additional insurance for whatever assets or jewelry they currently have, just knowing that they have that option to later in the future, they could add that in, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Well, Julie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Honestly, I think this is extremely helpful information. I learned a few things that I actually did not know. And so hopefully everybody else can, benefit from the information that you provided today. But what's the best way to reach you, connect with you? I guess social, phone number, whatever it is.
Yes, you can reach me at my email, juliewonginsurance@gmail.com. Or you can just, or you can call me at 949-606-4778. Yeah, I always pick up. I work around the clock. So, yeah.
And I can attest to, I mean, yeah, Julie, you've been helping a lot of my clients out for years. And so definitely if you have questions or just need a resource or someone who can actually walk you through what exactly you're signing when it comes to a policy, I recommend picking Julie's brain for sure. But yeah, thanks again for having, or for being here today, Julie. Happy Friday.
Oh yeah, you too. Thank you, Mina, for having me.